Hello there. So I really wanted to do another makeup video, similar to the lipstick one that I did, but not as long and not as many things. What I really want to talk about this time is eyeshadow, because I do my makeup generally the same every day on my whole face, but I do change up my eyeshadows quite a bit. That being said, there are only 3 palettes that I use. There is a very specific reason why, and it's personal preference, and that is that I only like matte eyeshadow colors. I don't wear shimmery, definitely not. I don't wear glittery, none of that. Not even if I was going out, unless I was doing like a cosplay that specifically needed sparkly eyeshadow, I want it away from me. So that's why none of the eyeshadows that I wear are like normal drugstore brands, because I often find that the ones that you buy in a drugstore that claim to be matte are usually not matte. They're usually shiny or sparkly in some way. Or I often find with e.l.f., there'll be like 3 matte shades in a palette with a ton of other glittery colors that I'm never gonna ever use. So I have no problem with using a drugstore way cheaper kind of quality for eyeshadow, but I don't. Eyeshadow is actually like the one thing that I splurge on because I need them to be matte, and that is exactly what I need. And so that being said, that is why I only use these 3 palettes. The Naked Basics, and Naked 2 Basics by Urban Decay. You're probably looking at them and going, Naked palettes, I didn't think Abby would spend that much money on makeup. But these are actually only 35 bucks Canadian each, rather than the 60-something that the actual Naked palettes are, and most of the colors in the Naked palettes are sparkly, so keep them away from me. Taking a look at the normal Naked Basics palette, this is actually stuff in here is what I'm wearing today. So these are the colors in it. See? So, like today, the only thing is that this light shade, the highlight one, is a little bit satiny. It's not as matte as the rest of them are, but that's okay because I would only ever use that shade for, like, highlight, I guess. I would never use a shade that light on my whole lid. So that one's allowed to be a little bit satiny, I guess, but the rest of them are all totally matte. So, like today, I'm wearing Foxy, which is the second shade on my whole lid, and then in the crease, I'm wearing Naked 2, and then on the outer corners crease, I'm wearing Faint. So, these colors are all super wearable, super nice. I love this palette. And because I love this one so much, I had to get Naked 2 Basics, which is this one. Again, the lightest shade in this palette is a little bit satiny, but other than that, the rest of them are totally matte. This palette overall was generally a little bit darker, but I know a lot of people that prefer this one over the other one significantly because the colors are all kind of closer together, so they're easier to blend and gradient and that sort of thing. I always wanted to do like a smoky eye look with the darkest shade here and the darkest shade in the other one. I just haven't gotten around to it yet, but I think that would look really nice. And so the Urban Decay eyeshadows are like really pigmented and really nice. So the color that you see in this container is the color that it's going to be on your eyelid. It's like that. They're very blendable. They go on really smoothly. That's the thing I like about matte eyeshadows, because they're usually a little bit higher quality, you know? It's cheap to throw chunks of glitter in, but when you have to make sure it's totally matte, you know, you're going to get the quality stuff there. And so that's why I will never ever turn away from matte eyeshadows, and these 2 palettes are a definite must. Buy them both for the price of like one of the normal Naked palettes, and yeah, just do it. And then the last palette I want to talk about, this Tarte palette. The thing with this Tarte palette is this palette was more money than I would like to admit, more money than I promised myself I would ever spend on anything makeup related. It was $53 Canadian, which is almost as much as one of the Urban Decay Naked palettes would be. But honestly, the moment this got here and I opened it up, I knew that it was going to get its money's worth for me. So yeah, I've only had the Tarte palette about 2 weeks, but I've used it every day except for today, oddly enough, since then, and honestly, I don't think I'm gonna ever stop using it. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's really hard to get it to like not reflect. So, if you can see that, the colors here are like so nice. In the bottom row here, you have a lot of nice browns. So, a lot of the more neutral browns, the kind of stuff that you might get more in the Naked Basics, not so much the Naked 2, but the Naked one. And then in the top here, or bottom, depending on how you're looking at it, these colors are a little bit more pinky browny. So the Super Mom color here is very light pink. And yeah, and then my favorite row, the row in the middle, is all pinky purpley matte shades, which is absolutely perfect. I wear those pinky purpley matte shades, and I feel like Snow White or Emma Swan or any of like those good female characters from Once Upon a Time, because their makeup is always very soft and very pink and very like fantasy like that, very natural, very nice looking, but that's what it reminds me of. And that pink row is actually why I bought this palette, because I couldn't find matte pinky eyeshadows that went together that well anywhere else. The colors in this are, again, so pigmented, so creamy, so blendable, so nice to put on. No fall off at all. There's a little bit of fall off in the Naked 2 basics, but it's not so bad. This palette, so expensive. So expensive. $53 for this tiny little thing, but honestly, I'd recommend it to anyone. This is my favorite. This is my holy grail of makeup. I'm going to use this until the day I die kind of palette. So I hope Tarte never ever gets rid of it, because I'm going to need to buy another one in like 20 years when I run out of this one. It's just so amazing. And it's actually turned me into like a Tarte girl. I've been looking at some of their other makeup online, because if this is this nice, what is some of their other stuff like? I've never tried anything else in. I just really want to try a bunch of their stuff because I love this so much. So I cannot sing the praises of the Tartelette Amazonian Clay Matte Eyeshadow Palette enough. I don't know why I love matte eyeshadow so much. I just think something about them looks so much more professional and like grown up. And even though 90% of the time I'm a child playing dress up, I just like my makeup looking really sleek and really nice and really like professionally nicely done, you know? Does that make sense? I use a primer, usually the e.l.f. primer that has the little spongy applicator, and I just put it on, and then I put these on over it, and that's it. Like, out of all the eyeshadow palettes I have so many, and these three are the only three that I use, and I use these three every day without fail, and they're my favorite. So my question to you that I'm going to leave you with here is, what kind of eyeshadow do you like to wear? You can tell me anything from color schemes to sparkly or non-sparkly, brands. If you have a preferred brand, I would love to know that. So let me know, and we can talk about eyeshadows, because eyeshadow is so much fun. It's so versatile. It can totally change your look from like fun to professional to whatever. So let me know in the comments below on YouTube or on Tumblr at wheelchairwarrior.tumblr.com, or on my beauty blog, which is fourwheelbeauty.tumblr.com. And yeah, I would love to hear from you. Thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe, all of that. See you next time. Bye bye.